Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. We had a Beechcraft Bonanza plane crash into Copano Bay Monday morning, November 15th, right at about 8 a.m. A pilot from Austin was flying from San Marcos Airport to Rockport Airport, and he decided to crash into Copano Bay, about 2 miles short of the runway. And I'm not sure what the reason is, if there was engine problems or human error. Clifford McTee III. And he was coming here to meet his fishing guide. The fishing guide actually saw the plane go down and reported it, hopped in his boat, and different sources have different stories, but it looks like the pilot was waiting on the wing and he was rescued by the fishing guide. And I believe the fishing guy's name was Greer. It was treated by EMS and let go, and the Navy set out a trainer plane. The Coast Guard came, DPS came, the Sheriff's Office came. He crashed in about 8 feet of water. And all this footage and all the photos we're going to see today were shot by Terry, who's with me now. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Dennis.
And while I was out relaxing in Port Aransas, Terry was working for free, getting us all this footage. And so, Terry, this is them basically just taking the plane out of the water?
Correct. The way I understand it, they went out in boats and they put floats underneath the wings and inflated them. Then they used towboats and pulled it back to the marina, where the telehandler picked it up out of the marina, took it up into the parking lot and set it on these springs so they could dismantle what was left. Well, the whole thing was left, but dismantle it.
Yeah. And Terry and I had already discussed this, but at what point does the FAA get involved and want to look at the plane? And I'm assuming they would look at it before they dismantled it.
I would have thought so. The part that really got me confused was without didn't look like any government officials there.
Yeah.
And they're tearing the landing gear out from under it that appeared to be jammed up in it, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. So maybe the guy had to do a water landing.
Could be. They had to use pry bars to get it out.
Wow.
Interesting.
Or it could have been damaged impacting the water.
Very true.
Yeah, don't listen to anything I say when it comes to facts, folks. Sometimes I just make stuff up to keep the videos interesting. But didn't you have some weights, Terry?
I did. I talked to the fellow that I presumed run that recovery business. He said that plane runs around 4,200 pounds when it's empty. Mm-hmm. They figured the way it's set waterlogged like that is about 6,000 pounds. So they did drain quite a bit of water out of it. Each one of the wings was holding a lot of water, which kind of surprised me. There's plugs in the end. They pulled the plugs, drained the wings out. They did the same thing with the body of the plane. On the very bottom of the tail end of the plane is a plug that they pulled and drained water out of. They also pulled all the seats and most of the interior out of it.
I wonder what causes this plane to sink right away, and the famous Sully aircraft, huge commercial plane, to float on the water.
Yes, I don't know. I was surprised really how little mud was attached to the plane, but it could have got blasted off while they were towing it back.
Yeah.
Kind of got a pressure washing, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it spent a few days in the... Did you remember what day you filmed this? Was it Tuesday?
I want to say it was Tuesday, yeah.
I think I went to Port Aransas on Thursday.
I want to say it was Tuesday. I don't recall.
Okay. Yeah, and I was just curious how long. I would imagine they got it out of there as quick as possible because it could be a navigation hazard. I wonder what kind of fines you face for this, or is it just like, hey, accidents happen?
I would imagine there are some kind of fines involved. I did see a government truck later on that was some kind of a Department of Environmental something. I don't know exactly that was out there, so I'm assuming that somebody was going to get some kind of citation.
I did read in the paper that the pilot said he had about 70 gallons of fuel at the time of crashing.
Well, and where he crashed was, as you know, in the oyster beds out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what airplane fuel does to them, but I can't imagine it's going to help them any.
It also said 2 miles short of the runway. I wasn't even aware that, you've seen how the planes come in off the Copano Bay when we're at Murph Park. I was just curious. I mean, is there even 2 miles of water between there and the land? So he had to be close to the other side.
I would think, yes. Yeah, I don't know. 2 miles is a long way out.
Yeah. And he could have had some type of engine failure, and I don't know what the cause of the crash was, but I got a lot of information out of the Rockport Pilot, and of course when you look online you find all types of different information, so I have no idea what actually caused the crash. It would be interesting if the Rockport Pilot, and that's funny, the paper's called the Rockport Pilot, and they're doing a story.
Want to report the crash.
Yeah, maybe they need to change it to the San Marcos Pilot. But apparently he was banged up a little bit if EMS looked at him. But if he went off, typical man, my plane crashed, but I'm still going to go fishing,
Absolutely.
But that is neat. The fishing guide was there with the boat ready to pick him up when he landed. And, it's odd that he just happened to see him go down and apparently launched his boat and got there pretty quick. And 8 feet of water was still plenty of water to drown in,
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's kind of interesting to me. I got a kick out of it, knowing that the pilot was unharmed. When I was taking pictures, and I don't know if I got a real good picture, it was kind of hard to get, but on the interior, on the dashboard of the plane, there did appear to be a, oh my, this is going to sting mark on the dashboard.
Oh,
where
okay.
It looked like somebody was holding on to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no gentle way to land in the water. I would imagine once you hit, it's pretty jarring.
I would think it would be violent, yes.
Yeah, it actually had his picture online of the pilot, and he was older, our age, maybe a little bit older, but he wasn't 100.
Still spry.
Certainly younger than Harrison Ford, who's
crashed a
time or two. Yeah. Apparently he can only fly the Millennial Falcon, is it?
Yes.
And he still has trouble with planes. But Terry also got a bunch of pictures. I'm going to try to put them in on the end. So you did a good job, Terry. What do you need me for?
The narration. It's the narration.
The best narration is before we start recording, but it just wouldn't make it to YouTube.
No, but you folks don't know what you're missing. It's good.
Apparently I curse a lot, so we shall see. So here come the pictures. What do we got going on here? Oh, this is still the video. I'm sorry. I think when I saw the guy moving, I realized it was still... So that's actually a neat job they have.
Yes. The company name was on the truck, and I don't remember what it was called right off the top of my head, but from what I understand, this is all they do is recover downed aircraft. That's their niche in life.
It's sad that there's enough to keep them full-time employed too.
Yeah.
So here's the photos.
That was when I didn't get things going fast enough to get it coming out of the water, but that is directly after they lifted it up out of the water and turned that telehandler around, which is the big blue forklift-looking thing, and they just pulled it directly out of the water there at the marina, and they just drove it up through the parking lot where they could get it on a semi-flat surface and not block the boat ramps. Those boat ramps there are very busy throughout the day.
Yeah. And those are new within the last few years.
They're nice. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
It's setting it down on the ramps there, or not the ramps, the stands. And then it took them a little bit to get it squared up how they wanted it. And then once it's set there, they got it on the stands. It looked pretty solid. They were jumping in and out of it, rocking all over it. That one, I believe, that's after they pulled all the seats and things out of it. There was quite a bit of mud inside. It wasn't deep mud. I can't imagine that was real light. It's got to be heavy, sloppy stuff.
Any oysters or fish? I wonder if they would write them up for not having a fishing license.
Yes, not that I saw. That's the part of the, I think that came out of the floor in the front, and that black piece there on the right, and then the seats.
Well, guys, that's it. Terry, thanks for all this footage. I appreciate it. Everyone else, Thanks for watching.